Hello, and welcome to Sounding Board, a community access television production of Soroptimist International of Novato. My name is Madeline Peters, and I will serve as the moderator for tonight's program. We have two lovely guests here, Allie and Elizabeth, and I'll have them introduce themselves in a moment. This topic is on the Marin Teen Girl Conference. And this is an opportunity to kind of share with the public about what this conference is and who the people are that are involved in it, and a little bit more about what is contained in it. But I'm going to just turn this over, and I'm going to ask Allie Hoke here to introduce herself a little bit, followed by Elizabeth. So Allie, hello. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. My name is Allie, and I go to San Rafael High School, and I love being a part of my community and volunteering and helping people. Yeah.
Okay, so a high school student connected to the community and obviously engaged in service.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much.
Elizabeth Ruiz, go ahead.
Well, my name is Elizabeth. I go to Novato High. It's my second year being a part of the Marin Teen Girl Conference, and I just like being a part of my community, volunteering, and helping out wherever I can.
In listening to both of you introduce yourselves, it strikes me, this is not something we hear about often, young people, high school students being involved in the community, yet, from our earlier conversation and now, and, what you're about ready to talk about, you seem to have a close connection with service in your community. So it's a wonderful thing to see, and hopefully it's contagious among other people at the high school level and probably the community at large as well. Tell me about your involvement with the Marin Teen Girl Conference. And Allie, I'll start with you.
Okay, well, I started being an ambassador 3 years ago for a couple of different reasons, but one mainly being because in 8th grade I was pretty badly bullied and I felt alone at times, even though I had my mom and my family support. And I feel it's important for girls that are going through situations to know that they're not alone and that they can overcome their struggles and they'll become stronger because of it.
So the personal situation of being bullied yourself made you realize, I need help, and I need some help other than just what I'm relying on as my typical support. So this is that community outreach.
Right,
Okay.
and I want other girls to know that they can open up to people and that they do have support of others, from
Good.
others.
Okay. Elizabeth.
Well, last year was my first year in the conference, and basically I became part of it because I heard of it from one of my teachers, and I just love the idea of teens getting together to help other teens. And well, I was never bullied, but one of my best friends was bullied when we were younger, and it's crazy to me how we could be so young and we feel so helpless. And it's just, we want girls to know that they're not alone, and anything that they're going through, there is help, and there's people that are going through the same things and are there for them. It's a safe environment for them.
Okay. Well, that's nice to know. I'm sure people are aware of the trials and tribulations of just growing up and going through high school and all that, but I wonder how many people just stop to think about what is it like for a young woman to be faced with pressures and try to deal with these on her own. Can you elaborate on what is this conference? What are the topics that are covered? What was it? What were the conference themes that really just sort of grabbed you when you first got involved in this? And Elizabeth, if that's okay, I'd like to start with you.
Well, last year we got to choose our topics, and the things that stood out to me are just the amount of stress that we go through. We have something for stress. We deal with relationships and just showing girls that someone needs to respect you and really knowing what a healthy relationship should be like.
I'm assuming you're talking about boy-girl relationships, or
All
is
kinds
it
of
all
rela-
kinds of
yeah.
relationships? Okay, just relationships at that
Yeah.
age group. So the conference or the topic at the conference, you could pick your own to kind of participate
Yeah.
in.
You get to choose your topics,
Okay.
the ones that best suit you.
Good, okay. Allie, can you share with us some of the other topics? Because I know the agenda's quite full.
So as ambassadors, as we're planning the conference, we decide topics that we feel are important to us and in our lives that could help other girls in their lives. So we have stress, sex smarts, peer pressure when it comes to drugs, sex, alcohol, nutrition, and knowing how to be healthy and eat healthy, and overcoming the odds and thinking positively and knowing that you can make an impact and reach your goals.
Okay. I think it's important to bring up the fact that this conference has happened before. You're part of the planning, and the conference is happening the conference is scheduled. Elizabeth, can I have you mention when the conference will be offered and where and the details around it?
Well, it's scheduled for March. It's going to be Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, I believe March 3rd.
March
Is that correct?
3rd,
Okay.
yes.
So Saturday morning, okay. And where will it be held?
It's going to be in Embassy Suites.
Okay, and you said Saturday morning. What time does it start? Do you know what time it is?
8 o'clock? Or
8
9?
o'clock, 8:30, yeah. Okay, so that's early in the morning to get
Yeah.
these people to attend the conference. So it's at Embassy Suites. It's Saturday, March 3rd, and it's a full day, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's
it's
a
a
morning
full
and
day.
afternoon, okay. And is there a cost to it?
It costs $15, but scholarships are available for people who want that. And lunch and I think breakfast is provided.
Okay.
All the girls get together and we all eat lunch and breakfast together.
Okay, so what does that do when you have the chance at the day of the conference to kind of meet and
Yeah.
share a meal with, what happens, or what was your
Well,
feeling like?
the ambassadors, they go around to tables and they sit with different people and talk to all of them. So if you go alone, definitely you'll have someone to sit with and talk to because everybody's going alone.
I see.
Yeah.
And again, that's the other thing, that whole thing about that feeling isolated
Yeah.
and not knowing, and here's this conference, and oh my goodness, do I have to go there by
Yeah.
myself? And,
Yeah.
and am I going to be sitting there so that you build the sense of connection and community right from the start by sharing that meal together.
And
Good.
last year, a lot of girls after the conference, they were like, that's so much fun. I learned so much.
Yeah.
I met new people. It was a great opportunity. It's really like an opportunity for girls to express who they are. And it's a safe environment. They won't be judged. And it's just a comfortable setting, community setting.
It's I'm getting that impression from the information you're giving. Allie, I see that you have a list of the topics, and Elizabeth, I know you mentioned actually quite a few of the topics. I think it's important to reiterate what those topics are so that people who are listening to this program know what you're talking about. So, Allie, would you mind just reading what the topics are?
Yeah, so it's girl stress, what it is, how it affects you, and how to deal. Getting real with relationships, which is with boys and girls and friends and parents and peers. And sex smarts, everything that has to do with sex, so being safe and knowing you don't have to be peer pressured into it. And booze and weed, a girl's guide to staying safe. So it's just also dealing with the peer pressure and knowing what to do when you're in certain situations that involve drugs and alcohol.
And then we have Delicious, which is creating a healthy relationship with food. So it deals with nutrition, eating disorders. And we also have How Come I Don't Look Like That? Media literacy and self-image, which basically talks about Photoshop and how you don't have to look how they look in the media, the TV. That's
the
not
difference between reality and
Yeah.
what Photoshop does.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we have Girls Overcoming the Odds, the power of positive thinking, and also Knowing Your Worth, a girl's guide to money.
I'd like to spend a little bit of time kind of going into some of those topics, and then I also want to let people know who's sponsoring this? Like, you have a website, you have Facebook, you have a whole bunch of
Twitter. Yeah.
Twitter and stuff like that, and who's putting this on? Who's putting this on?
Well, the Marin Women's Commission is the main organization that is putting it on, and we have different members from that organization that are helping us and walking us through it, and we have monthly meetings where we learn how to become leaders and talk about the conference and expand on different subjects and topics that we want to deal with in the conference.
Did you ever think even a few years ago, you'd be going and learning on how to become a leader? Or maybe you did, but it's just like what a lovely way to kind of like be positive about yourself.
It really is, and it really helps you open up and just learn how to like interact with other people, like adults, other peers, and it's just really a great experience.
And the nice thing about it is every time we meet, we always do an activity to get to know each other. So we don't just stick with our friends, we also stick with all the other girls around there, getting to know them and who they are, and really getting to know what we want for other teens.
So to me, from Elizabeth, from what you just said, this is far more than information.
Yeah.
It's really kind of looking at and you're talking about some pretty heavy-duty topics here too, but you're talking about strategies, to me, I would say, to build communication, and instead of people just kind of sitting side by side, it's actually part of the plan to make sure people get to know each other. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
We become one big like community and one big family. So there are people from all different schools in Marin, and we all just bond and connect and become a big family that are there to support each other and to support our peers and other teen girls in the community.
With the social interaction piece of it, I'd like to kind of focus in a little bit on that. And your own experience, and I'll let you think about this for a moment. What was it that you learned from those activities to kind of get to know one another? What was it that, as you think back on it, what comes to mind that was important for you?
Well, just learning how to reach out and not be afraid to speak up, and to just not be afraid to speak up and really interact with people.
And thank you, and what about you, Elizabeth?
Well, for me it was getting there, because I actually got there with my friends, and the three of us did it together, and just what was really a learning experience for me was stepping away from my friends and getting to know everybody else, and really like feeling a connection with them and understanding what they want to get out of it is just the same things I want to get out of it.
So it's really interesting. You had your little comfort zone that you brought with you, and you had to be comfortable enough to break away from that comfort zone and engage with other people. I'm getting from both of you, you both learned, that whole thing about reaching out.
Yeah.
What was it that appealed to you about that, reaching out? You both talked about a sense of community, but that takes a strong person to even want to do that.
Yeah. You just really have to step out of your comfort zone and just realize that in the real world, every day you're going to have to interact with new people, and it's not very beneficial to just stick with who you know, because then you're holding yourself back from knowing everything, from learning so much more from other people. And that's really how we as ambassadors create this conference, is through connecting our ideas and branching out and thinking outside of the box and letting each other speak, and just be really a community that is very comfortable with each other.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's a powerful event. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
One of the things we did on last year's conference was we all got to know each other in the conference, and all the ambassadors knew each other. So the day of the conference, we all were separated, and we all had to get to know all the girls that were coming in.
Yeah.
So if we saw anybody that was alone, we were there to talk to them. We saw groups of friends. We introduced everybody to each other. So we were never really we were with the other ambassadors, but we were really focusing on getting to know all the other girls that were part of it.
So it's interesting. You had a chance to put into practice right away those, I'll call them social interaction skills. I mean, you obviously had a bond with the other ambassadors,
Yeah.
but in order to make this whole conference work, you had to connect with everyone at that conference. And in doing so, I mean, I'll kind of step back from that and the picture in my mind is you're showing all these girls how you go about stepping out of your comfort zone.
Right, yeah.
What it is you say, what it is you do, just making the effort to move beyond just one or two friends to connect with other people. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I would like to, let's talk about the different topics. You talked about stress, relationship, sex, booze and weed, delicious nutrition, your relationship with nutrition, media literacy, and positive thinking. I'd like you to tell me, just pick one, and Elizabeth, I'll start with you. What are those conferences, and can you kind of sort of fill in the blanks for me, or tell me a little bit more about what's involved in one of those sessions?
Well, I'll talk about the delicious one, which is creating a healthy relationship with food. Last year, we had guest speakers that talked about their experiences and their eating disorders, and we really had that moment to talk and listen to them. And the beautiful thing about it is we bring these people that are going through the same things as you are, and if you feel like you want to talk to them personally, you can wait until the end and really talk to them, and they give you cards, they give you information, and they really educate you and help you find a solution.
That's phenomenal. It's leaders talking to leaders and sharing the connection with others to help others become leaders.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from your discussion about this conference. Okay, Allie, what about you? Pick one of those areas.
Well, girls' stress. Everybody goes through all different kinds of stress, whether it be from school, from sports, to peer pressure, to friends, to relationships. And I think it's really important to learn how to be able to deal with your stress, because stress makes different people act in different ways. And so this year, our speaker is actually going to do possibly a yoga session just to teach us how to relax and just find our zone and
Sort
relieve
of
that stress.
Relieve the stress.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the techniques that are going to help people kind of deal with
Right.
their stress and kind of reduce it? Do you mind if we delve into some of these topics? I want to make sure that we cover the different topics that you brought up, but I want it to be in your comfort zone too. Is if you pick other, Elizabeth, is there another area that you want to address?
Well, definitely media literacy and self-image. There's so many things that we see every day on TV, and we always want to be that kind of beautiful, but what we always forget is that there's all kinds of beautiful in the world, and it's not just what we see on television. And that's really what we try to show everybody, that it's not the only kind of beautiful, because everybody's beautiful in their own way.
Yeah.
There are lots of kinds of beautiful.
Yeah.
That's very well put.
I think
Allie?
it's important just to add on to what Elizabeth said, is for girls to know, or anyone to really know that, and be confident that you are who you are and you're the only you in this world. So you should share the you with the world and be proud of it and be proud of yourself.
That's quite impressive. Okay, what about some of the other topics? Booze and weed, keeping yourself safe, sex, positive thinking. What would you like to address?
Well, just to let everybody know, each girl, once you sign up, you get to list in order your least favorite to your most favorite. And we try to each girl gets to go to 3 breakout sessions. So we try to get everybody into their top choices. And then we have keynote speakers that come and talk about the topic and for an hour and ask questions. But just everything, booze and weed and a smart girl's guide to staying safe is just not only how to deal with those situations, but when you're in that situation, what you can do to get out of it safely, or if you end up stuck with something that you're not comfortable with, how you can say no, and that you shouldn't be afraid to say no.
Okay, so just giving the people who are participating, the young girls, the tools that they need
Right.
to recognize the situation and
Yeah.
also recognize what their power is.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, would you like to add to that or take on another topic? Or
Well, I'll talk about the sex smarts. This year, we're breaking it up into the younger group and the older group. And basically, we just want to teach them how to be safe. And really, like last year, I was in one of these breakout sessions, and something that really made people like go, oh my gosh, was like sex isn't just intercourse. There's different forms of sex, and there's different ways of getting diseases, and that's something that shocked a lot of people. And it was really shocking to me because I knew that, but to see like half the room like be shocked, it was like, you didn't know that? So that's like the thing I like about it. They're able to learn and really get educated.
I think what surprises me is you looked around the room and realized that what you thought is a common level of understanding and
Yeah.
information was not all that
It's not-
common.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, this is in an area where there are lots of resources and things like that, but you're
Yeah.
still talking about a population that's shocked because
Yeah.
they don't have the information. What I want to do is, again, I want to remind people that this conference is on March 3rd. It's a Saturday at Embassy Suites, 8:30 to 4 p.m. As you said, there is a cost. It's $15 available, but no girl is turned away. This is the Marin Teen Girl Conference. There is a website, marinteen.org.
MarinTeenGirl.org.
Excuse me, marinteengirl.org. I'll have to learn how to slow down and read the notes. Now, I understand that there's a keynote speaker.
Yes.
And Elizabeth, I think you were going to talk about the keynote
Yes.
speaker. Who is the keynote speaker for this conference?
Well, her name is Latifa Simon, and she's going to be sharing her story, and I'll say a little bit about her. She was born and raised in San Francisco. She was a client of a nonprofit organization. She was a teen at risk at 15 years old.
So she was a young girl,
Yes.
and she ended up connected to the services. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And what's so amazing and inspiring about her story is that in 4 years, she became the executive of the nonprofit organization. And
So that means she was not 20 years old, right? If she was 15,
She was
what,
15.
19 or
She was
so.
19 herself when she became the executive. Go ahead.
and she won the MacArthur Genius Award, and she was named Oprah's first Power List.
Okay.
So we're going to have a really strong woman sharing her story with us, and we're hoping that all the other girls that are listening to her story will be inspired.
Phenomenal. Again, Latifa Simon from
Latifa Simon.
San Francisco will be the keynote speaker for this conference on March 3rd. Marin Teen Girl Conference. I'm getting that right now. And we'll share her story. Let's kind of, I'd like to ask a question in a slightly different way. As you think about what we've talked about, what you've learned in your involvement with this conference and in your involvement as an ambassador, what are some of the things, whether it's one or more than one, what are some of the things that really strike you as being very important? And Allie, I'll start with you.
I feel it's important for people to know that they aren't alone in situations, and that this conference is a place where they can open up and share their experiences and learn that they aren't alone, and learn how to talk to people and talk it out. And it's a place that it's just a great way to just get involved with your community and know that you're not being judged and that there are people out there that can help you.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And Elizabeth,
Well-
as you think back on your involvement and who you are and what are the things that really are important to you that you think about? Strong points.
Well, really, I would like all the girls to choose the topics that they have the most questions about and they really want to know, because it's not just a lecture, it's really hands-on, and you're in a room filled with girls that feel the exact same thing and have the same questions. Like, we're creating a safe environment for all these girls to share and to learn.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Allie.
These breakout sessions aren't like your normal in-school lectures. Like, I know everybody goes through health classes and learns about sex, but each topic is more interactive, and they have keynote speakers that want you to have fun and not just hear the blah blah blah, because because everybody goes through those types of lectures and they're not always interesting, and you don't always get as much as you could out of it because they're not as interactive.
Okay, so it's very hands-on, it's very engaging.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
And if anybody's shy, they can just come up to an ambassador, ask their question, and we'll ask them for them.
Yeah.
So
that's a phenomenal thing.
there is no shyness.
Well,
like,
yeah.
if they have any questions, we'll answer their questions.
Okay, and so that they can get the information they need, and they can get it in a situation that really kind of promotes their comfort level. Well, I can see that we're coming to a close on our time, and I really want to take this time to thank you both very much for your involvement, your leadership in the community, your participating in the Marin Teen Girl Conference. You're promoting it, your active engagement in it as well. Do you have one last thing that you'd like to say? Just like one thing before we close the show.
I just want people to know that this conference is really a fun thing, and it's a great way to get involved in your community and reach out and meet new people. And it's fun. It's a great experience to be an ambassador.
Okay, all right.
Well, I want them to come in here and really learn we want to answer all their questions, and we really want them to learn, and we want them to walk out leaders.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, this is the end of our Sounding Board program on the Marin Teen Girl Conference. Again, it's March 3rd at the Embassy Suites from 8:30 to 4 p.m. My name is Madeline Peters. This is Sounding Board put on by Soroptimist International in Novato. Thanks to Soroptimist members who serve as crew, and to Rick Tucker as the Executive Director of Novato Public Access Television. Thank you.